On June 23rd, 1994, at around 8:10 a.m., Dennis O'Brien, who was deaf, pulled into the parking garage of the office where he worked in DuPage, Illinois.
I usually park on the first floor, but it happened to be full, so I had to go to the second floor. The second level was full, too. I'm getting anxious and thinking, I'm late for work. I need to find a parking space now.
Back up, there's a problem.
She was scared out of her mind and didn't stop to explain. When she moved away from my view, that's when I saw a guy lying on the ground. There was no movement, no motion, nothing. Just laying there.
Around that same time, Tony Harlan was also arriving for work.
I noticed that one of my coworkers had his car stopped right in front of the elevator area and was concerned.
Stop.
I looked around his car and I saw a gentleman laying on the pavement.
Did anybody call?
I don't know. Why don't you call 911 now?
Okay, I'll call.
I saw him lying there alone. And when I saw people who walked around him, that was very sad.
The other aspect of that is great.
I didn't know what else to do because I didn't know CPR. So I helped direct traffic.
Mary Profita worked in the office building adjacent to the garage.
Good morning, DuPage County.
I received a call from a coworker that there was a problem in the garage, that a man had fallen down, assumed heart attack, and called 911. I had some CPR training, but I was just assuming everything would be under control. I would just be there to watch and assist. Because time had already elapsed, and I thought for sure people would be by his side. I was just utterly surprised that he was alone.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Do you know?
Hello?
No. Sir?
I don't feel a pulse. Sir, see if you can find
My hands were shaking, and so I reached under his neck and felt for a pulse with my fingertips and felt nothing.
Breathe.
He immediately started to do the breathing for him. I knew that the life signs were not there, but I didn't see him as someone dead. I saw him as a human being lying there needing help. I would have stayed there regardless, because no one needs to die that way by themselves.
I hope to God I was doing everything right, because this was going to determine how this man's life was going to turn out. There were no volunteers to assist, and we're beginning to wonder when help would arrive.
2, 3. Check his pulse.
I don't feel anything.
We checked for pulse at least 3 or 4 times and was unable to find any signs.
When the emergency team finally arrived, it was like a relief, like a weight lifted.
A Wheaton fire rescue unit reached the scene within 5 minutes of the call, including Lieutenant EMT Philip Demenza.
We noticed immediately that they were doing very good CPR. When that happens, we always let the people continue until we're ready and set up.
It was after I stood up and I watched the emergency team that the flood of emotions came in. I just wanted him to make it. I wanted him to be okay.
An advanced life support unit also responded, including paramedic Susan Lencioni.
Our greatest concern initially was how much time was there before CPR was started. If somebody hasn't intervened within that 4 to 6 minute period, then the brain has already sustained damage that cannot be reversed no matter what we do.
Go ahead and do that, and I'll get their way.
Okay, we got B-fib, charging. Clear? Clear.
What do you got with that?
Still B-fib, I'm going up 1.
What we're hoping for is to see the heart go flatline for a few seconds and then kick into what would be its normal rhythm.
No, it's still B-fib.
We tried a third time at the maximum power. At that point, he did convert into another rhythm, but he did not have a pulse with that rhythm.
Big bag.
I was able to locate a wallet so we could call him by name. His name's Jonathan Koresh, 43.
I'm going to push this and I'm going to shock him.
At this point, he went back into ventricular fibrillation.
Still trying to breathe.
He was breathing about 4 a minute, which is really unusual for a patient who's in full arrest.
Clear. 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 We're going to push this and we're going to shock him again.
Start the CPR again.
No matter what we did, we couldn't make the patient come back again.
Clear. Clear.
It's very frustrating and sad sometimes in the job that we have to know that you've done everything you can, but we just didn't do it for him.
After working on the victim for nearly 30 minutes without regaining a pulse, rescue workers decided to transport him to the hospital. At Central DuPage Hospital, 43-year-old John Kurash was examined by emergency physician Joseph Boyle.
I think you went in a okay, get him over here.
He was still in ventricular fibrillation. This is the best cardiac dysrhythmia to be saved from, basically. So I was surprised that he hadn't come back. Let me check with a quick look.
Can I get a line out? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got a second line.
I got the whole.
He's still in fib. Let's shock him, charge it.
Okay. Clear?
Clear. No change. Give him another bolus of lidocaine. Let me check the tube.
It was going to be like a dream come true that we were able to pull somebody through this. But after I got back from lunch, I had the unhappy message that the gentleman had passed away.
Still V-fibbed. One more time, charge him. Clear. The heart finally got a pulse, and the blood pressure was restored. Nice job, you guys. You got him back. Well, I'll talk to the cardiologist upstairs. Let's pack him up.
They had scheduled a 2 o'clock session for us with the counselors to talk about our feelings. And right in the beginning of this session, our safety chief comes into the room and he says, the good news is he isn't dead. But the bad news is that he is in very critical condition.
Your husband had sudden death outside the...
When John's wife, Terry, got to the hospital, a doctor explained that he had suffered sudden death syndrome, which caused his heart to arrest.
Is he going to be okay?
It's really hard to tell at this point.
I was trying to talk to him, to tell him that I was there, to tell him that I loved him, and that the kids loved him, and that we were there for him, and everything was going to be okay. It was about 6 hours after they had put him in the intensive care unit that he was finally able to start talking.
John?
Hi, honey.
John?
And all of a sudden, he just turned to me and said, you know, who is this guy and why am I here?
The doctor, honey.
You're better. Your heart rhythm's nice and stable now, John.
I was ecstatic. I love John very much, and I'm very happy that he's well and that he's really himself and that we're going to enjoy as many days together as we can.
John was hospitalized for 10 days. Doctors implanted a defibrillator in case the electrical system of his heart malfunctions in the future.
It didn't take just somebody to do CPR. The amazing part of what was done is that it was done so well that I have virtually a total recovery. In truth, it's only because of Mary and Tony and the 911 crew that apparently just wouldn't give up.
Go ahead.
11-year-old Tracy is the oldest of John and Terry's 3 children.
He's almost back to himself. He goes to work every day, and he plays games with us, and we have lots of fun. I'm not exactly sure why my dad's alive today, but I know that it had a lot to do with Mary and Tony, and they saved him, and I think God gave a little help, too.
Come on in.
Mary,
Terry. Tony.
Jonathan, how are you?
Oh, God, it's good to see you guys. This is Tony.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
I appreciate everything they did, My kids appreciate it, and John appreciates it, and he views each day as a gift.
I don't know how we can ever thank both of you enough. That you were there at the right time in the right place.
How do you like your handiwork?
You look fantastic.
I'm glad to be here.
I consider myself extraordinarily lucky because having that opportunity to have fun with my family, to help them grow and learn, it's a wonderful, wonderful gift.
I am incredibly happy that I was there to help Jonathan. If my life was lived to do that, to save someone else, then that was, to me, a heck of a life.
Look and see if you can find any fish in there, guys.
Next, he started through the median strip, so I attempted to cut him off, but he continued in the wrong direction on the interstate.
He's going to wreck and kill somebody if he doesn't get turned around.